Black Widow is directed by Kate Shortland and of course stars Scarlett Johansson and Florence Pugh. We join Natasha after the events of Civil War. She's on the run and we finally, after all of these years, get to see when she was brainwashed, everything to do with the Red Room. We finally get it. It's been a long time, but we're getting there, baby. We get to see Natasha Romanoff's entire backstory. As I just said, the scene in Age of Ultron where Scarlet Witch hexes everyone, we get everyone in their alternative scenes or the alternate universes or what they fear the most. We get, with Black Widow in that scene, her in the Red Room training in the ballet studio, shooting guns, getting perfect targets, killing people. It was the most intriguing scene in Age of Ultron. Since then, everybody wanted to see the Black Widow solo movie. It's been since 2014 when Age of Ultron came out. We finally got it, and we finally get a solo Black Widow movie. I was so excited. After its release, everyone has the same question. Is this the best movie Marvel have released so far? Well, I'm going to categorically say no, and I've got good and bad reasons why that is. One thing I can't really take away from the movie is the coronavirus. Obviously, it was supposed to come out in May of last year. Everything decided to shut down. The whole world went to pot. So luckily we did have the Disney Plus series to carry us on. But because of those and the release of all three of those now, comparatively to Black Widow, it's a bit out of sync, you know. But in some cases it kind of helps in the movie, if you know what I'm talking about. But you can't really take that away from it. Phase 4 started with the TV shows, and I really think it was supposed to start with Black Widow. These things happen. We kind of have to take away that part of our brain that says, which doesn't make sense. It's not really going to make a lot of sense in certain cases because we've had the pandemic. They've released it when they have, and that's just fine. You know, you can't really take it away from it. What I can tell you though with confidence is that the new characters in this film, Marvel have done another great job. Most importantly with Florence Pugh, who plays, I can't give it away, it's only been out a few days here in the UK, so I'm not going to tell you anything, but she is a great part of this new universe that they're quite clearly setting up for in the future. She's just a fantastic casting choice. She bounces off Scarlett Johansson so well. The chemistry is there. You need it with someone who's been there as long as Scarlett has. You need someone to bounce off who's a veteran. She's done all these movies since 2009. She knows exactly what's in there. Florence Pugh has a great accent that she keeps up. I'm looking at you, Elizabeth Olsen, who didn't keep it up obviously famously throughout most of the series that have been going on. She gets that typical Marvel humour out there, the self-referential. She's got her own little catchphrases coming out. She just nails it. She's great in the role. Genuinely my standout. She made me giggle. She's fantastic. She kicks ass. You can't ask for more than that. You need someone to take the role off of Scarlett. I think Florence Pugh is the best casting they've made. Bravo for whoever thought of her, because she's great. I've seen her in a lot of films like Fighting With My Family and Little Women, to name a few, to name two even. So she's a great actress, and we know that. And she's going out with Zach Braff, so she's great in my book, because I love him. Eagle! Scarlett, of course, is amazing. She is Black Widow. She's got that whole, you know, Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man, Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool, Margot Robbie is Harley Quinn, Scarlett Johansson is Black Widow. There'll only ever be one. She's one of the original six. I would say as a caveat to that the writing could be an awful lot stronger throughout everyone in the entire film, but I do think, obviously it being named after her first solo outing in the, you know, over 10 years, the writing is a little bit weak. But that's not her fault. Her performance as Black Widow is what I'm concentrating on here, and she was just great. She obviously knows the ropes. She knows who she is, what the character is. You don't have to explain it to her. You just kind of let her get on the bike and run with it, because that's that's what she is, that's what she does. She's a great actor. She took Florence Pugh under her wing, as I just said. She's just great, and I had every confidence that she would be fantastic, and she just was. I'm gonna miss her, I really am. One of the original six, and just a kick-ass lady, and really knew her stuff about that character. It's the end of an era. When it comes to villains, Marvel are normally pretty strong when it comes to them. Taskmaster is a pretty cool villain. Got some really cool twists and turns in there. Fantastic character. Don't have an awful lot of bad things to say, and hopefully, no spoilers, hopefully we see more of them in the future. That they were that good. It was really, I think it took a little bit of everything else from every other film to sort of give a bit of padding to Taskmaster, because I don't think they had all of the faith in the world in the character. So, giving a little bit of a spoiler, giving Taskmaster the mimic ability is a bit, I think,
weak, maybe.
I don't know too much about Taskmaster comic book wise, but if you've got anything to say, let me know in the comments. I'd love to learn more about Taskmaster. I'm gonna have a bit of a thing about it, but here in the UK, all I know is that it's a TV show with two comedians telling comedians to put their hands in soapy water and make a painting. That's what Taskmaster is over here. So to see this really cool looking Marvel villain is great. Ray Winston as Dreykov may as well just not even fucking bothered. He was there at the start, he's there at the end, he's got no real impact. I hated him as a villain. His genuine whole ending was him just getting insulted by someone saying he was bad at his job and trying to kill them for it. Going, no I'm not, and just lost the plot. It was a bit shit. I mean, you've got this whole network of this massive villainy thing, and someone just comes in and says you're shit at it, and he just goes no and throws his toys out of the pram. He's just a bit of a wanker, if I'm honest with you. Didn't really care for him. I think they should have just stuck with Taskmaster and given them more of a story rather than him, because I didn't really care. His ending was crap, his start was crap. Just kind of a bit of a wet blanket, if I'm honest. Disappointingly, I thought Rachel Weisz was going to be this, mentor or whatever. You look at the posters when it first came out, it's like, oh, she's dressed like Black Widow. This can be really cool, like a mentor or whatever, someone we didn't see at the start. No, she's just boring and trains pigs, and that's literally it. Her twist, her little thing, her little whatever part of the story is so... She may as well be a glass dildo in a greenhouse. She's that transparent. It was just super predictable, and nothing she did left any impact on my brain. I was just like, yeah, fine. She was just okay. But my Hatred of the Week award goes to David Harbour as Red Guardian. You know, when you're kids or whatever and you're playing outside, or I don't know, in my case, I lived in the country. It was very strange. You put on a funny accent and then you just start getting carried away with what you're saying and just start saying random things to make the people laugh.
My name is Borat. I like you. I like sex.
That's all David Harbour does. He tries so hard. They give him the main lump of jokes, and yet Florence Pugh's character insulting him is more funny than anything he says in the entire film. He's boring. I guarantee you he's going to be back and it's going to be all this big impact thing. His accents make no sense. He's in prison in part of it for no reason. It's really weird, and he's not funny, he's not clever, he does nothing to the story. He's literally just there in a red suit. He's pointless and boring, and I hated him. David Harbour is an actor that you can count on. I don't like Stranger Things, but I've heard he's a good thing in it. He's a reliable actor, and yet he's dog shit in this. I have nothing to say about him, and that is worse than having something to say about him. Good or bad, you should have something to say, but he's a blip in this film, and I don't really care about anything he does. Listen, I know I'm being negative, and unfortunately that can't stop at the moment, because the one thing that actually started giving me a bit of a dull ache behind my eyes was the fight scenes. Now, I've seen a lot, and I think it's like 80% on Rotten Tomatoes on this film, which I find really odd. For storytelling, maybe a little bit, but the fight choreography, I've heard also people say, like the Cynical Drinker, great YouTube channel, great at reviews, but he's like, oh, the fight choreography is great. It's really jarring, and they must have watched Jason Bourne or something, because there's like a 10-second fight scene between Florence Pugh and Scarlett Johansson. Just imagine it. I know it's great fun to do so. Oh, in those 10 seconds, there's like 40 cuts in a fight scene. Your brain's like trying to catch up, and it just makes it look chaotic and unplanned, and it makes them both look stiff as brooms. I don't know how much of the stunt people did it, but it's just so jarring and annoying and so blippy. You'd think it'd be like John Wick and like a long continuous shot. That would have been cool, because Black Widow's a good fighter, but it makes the fighting look incompetent. So many cuts, it's just so jarring to my eyes. I think the thing that hurts me the most is that this is the send-off to a character that we've all known and loved for over 10 years, and an actress that is never going to be back in this series, and she's great and she's dependable. What hurts me is it's just not perfect for her. You know, the send-off for Iron Man was just perfect. It's what he needed, and everyone keeps asking to bring him back, but I think if you did it, it'd spoil it. It's a perfect way to send her off. The perfect way to send her off would be different in my eyes, but this is the way they're going to do it. I think it's very clunky, and the release dates and everything that's come after, before it with the TV shows, doesn't really help it. That's not Marvel's fault, but the writing is, and I just imagine something so much stronger for one of the original 6 that we all fell in love with back in 2012 when the first Avengers came out. Them all together, and now it just feels wet, and so much missed potential for a character that we know and love and we're never going to see again. It's just such a shame, because I enjoy the film, only because I know it's the last time we're ever going to see it again. Of course I can watch all the good films back and love watching Black Widow, but we've all been wanting this film since 2014 and 2021, and I've just got this, and it's like, well, that's the last thing I'm ever going to see her in? Sure, there's going to be successors to Black Widow, but just wanted more out of it. Guys, I recommend Black Widow, but just don't think you're going to be as thrilled as you should be. So there you have it, guys. There's my take on Black Widow. Have you seen the movie? Please let me know in the comments down below. Let's talk about it. Do you agree with me? Do you think the film is good? Am I talking out of my arse? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments, and guys, please don't forget, we're still trying to catch Chris Stuckman. I've been going up a little bit more lately. I'm loving it, but not nearly enough to catch that bloody boy. Guys, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends. I ain't going anywhere, unfortunately for you, so please. Until next time, this is your friendly neighbourhood ginger guy saying, Ginge out.